Hi, welcome back to the Milton House Price Report. My name is Chuck Charlton from the Charlton Advantage team at LePage, and we didn't do a report in April, so I apologize about that. Just got caught up doing all kinds of stuff, but we're back this month, and I've got a great episode, and I'm going to talk about return on investment at the end of the video. But in the meantime, what I thought would be helpful is just to spend some time reading through the report with you. It would be great if we could go to everyone's place who gets this report. We're talking maybe 500 people, but we can't, so we're going to screencast this, and hopefully it'll give you a bit of clarity about the report and how to read it, and I'll also try and give you some input too. So we cover the urban and rural areas. Our team is made up of myself, my wife Melissa, and Jennifer as licensed realtors, and we also have Jenna, who's our full-time assistant, and so the system actually works really well. I'm predominantly a listing agent, so I don't really spend a lot of time with buyers, and if you think about the ordinary agent who's doing all of it on their own, it's very, very difficult, and you don't get the same focus and the same results from just having the same person do everything. So there is an advantage with the team. Now the report, we get some people that say, well, I didn't get the value of my house from the report, and so what we're really doing is giving you a general sense of what homes are selling for, and then you can take some next steps if you like to, and we'll talk about that towards the end of reading the report. But it's designed to give you a general sense of where things are at today, and the value of a home can be due to a lot of factors. Now this chart is actually one of the most important things in the report in my opinion, and so what we're looking at is average selling price for the GTA, which includes Milton. The more numbers we have, the more reliable it is. And we've seen some pretty amazing stuff. So since December of 2011 until now, December was at just over 450. We're now peaking at 520, and we don't have the stats in for May yet. That's a substantial jump. That's more than a 10% increase in a matter of 4 or 5 months. And the big thing that I'm saying to people is that it's not sustainable. That's not the kind of growth, because people aren't making 20% more at their jobs, right? So the interest rates staying low are certainly helping the prices escalate, but I think once we start seeing the interest rates change, we are going to see some sort of correction there, and there's a lot of people that think we're headed for disaster, and I don't know if that's the case. I just think that right now we just need to understand that the reason why prices have increased so much is because people can borrow money for basically 3%. So anyways, the freehold townhomes are basically selling. Every single one of them that's listing is basically selling within 30 days. They're getting about 100% a list, very low days on the market. So the big thing that I always say to people is that in a market like that, where there's almost complete certainty that you're going to sell, does it make sense to maybe crank your price range up a little bit and let somebody sort of come to you, and instead of just pricing at exactly the same level as the previous guys? And so I see a lot of opportunities lost in the market just when people list, and it's probably, I know that there'd be a few thousand extra on the table, but that's really from doing it every single day and seeing what's going on. Semis are pretty active. There's been 32 sales with 41 new listings, so not quite the same absorption rate, but still a pretty tight percentage of lists that they're selling for, and obviously a pretty attractive days on the market too. Detached homes are still hovering around 75%, although as we go higher in the price range past 600, we start to see that things are a little slower. And so actually in 2012, we've actually had 3 or 4 sales in the 800s, which is not something that we even saw probably for the second half of last year. So that's been a good thing for people with the sort of amazing, really nice homes. And I don't know if it's part of it. Part of it's because the builders are really cranking out. I mean, they're asking a lot of money for the homes that they're putting out there. And I don't know if people are comparing new to resale. But anyways, it is what it is. So we'll have to see if that trend continues. There are some really nice homes coming out in the next month or so that I've had a chance to have some conversations with those people. So look out for them. There's going to be some really special properties, condo townhomes, condo apartments, sort of staying with their activity, and mostly it's a price range thing. The lower price ranges definitely are getting a lot of action, and overall our buyers are really experiencing, if they're in the low price ranges, they're almost constantly in competition, and in the higher price ranges what we find is there's just a lot of big boxes that are just okay. I call them BBBs, big boring boxes, but there's not a lot of special stuff. There's not a lot of stuff on big lots, and some of the stuff that is really nice I think what we're seeing generally is that they're asking a big premium that buyers aren't always willing to see. Okay, so April 2012, very steady month. About 65% of the homes that are listed were ended up selling, and a good days on the market range. So there's some nice stuff people have said about us. We put this in every report just to share with you what it's like to work with our team. And you go through and you see there's a lot of listings right here for sale in Milton. I think there's probably about 400 listings right now at any given time. And that's sort of normal for the spring. We might even peak out at about 500. And the off seasons could be anywhere from 100 to 200 properties. So it is a pretty substantial jump. And we know the buyers are out there in greater numbers as well. So if I scroll through some of these, you're free to watch that. You can pull off the PDF on the website. And so where we go with this next is that you can actually see individual sales from the last 90 days for detached, rural stuff, townhouses, condos. All that stuff is available on the website. So it's really, I always say it's like having the teacher's answers to the algebra book. It's a great thing. So you can definitely visit us on the website. And finally, there's 3 things you can do next. So we've got a pinpoint price analysis. We can come over, give you an evaluation for your home, and what we do is we even guarantee to sell your home in 60 days or less when it's listed at the pinpoint price. And if we don't, there's a penalty to us, because I think a lot of people in our industry tell you what you want to hear instead of the truth, and that's not what we're about. We want to have some skin in the game. We want to be a part of the process and teammates with you. We also have a room-by-room review, which is where we actually come over and recommend the things to do, and even more importantly, the things not to do. And they usually average an additional $5,000 to $10,000 on the sale price of a property. And we also have something called a silent market of homes, and every weekend we're going out with buyers. And so if we had the opportunity to profile your home to these people, it could save you time, it could save them time, it could save a lot of money and energy and all the other stuff. So it can be a great thing. We make matches all the time where there's homes that aren't even listed on the market that we end up bringing the buyers for. So if you want to be a part of that, just let me know. Just send me some details about your house and we can start to have a conversation. And okay, so that's the report there. The last thing I wanted to share with you is this tool called Renova. Okay, so Renova stands for, actually I don't know what it stands for. It's on the AICanada.ca website, and so you can just go to resources and then Renova. And why I thought it would be good is because you can look at the all-in-one worksheet and really get a sense of the expected return. So a basement renovation on average gets about a 50 to 75% return on the money that you spend. And you can see I put $1,000 for all these things here. Bathroom reno, 75 to 100%. Typically the big 4 we talk about with return on investment is kitchen, bathroom, flooring, and paint. And so central air is about a 25 to 75% return. A rec room, typically people say, hey, I'm going to finish my basement. I'm going to put a pool in. Basements, probably no more than 75%. Although if you do some work, we call it sweat equity, as you may actually be a little profitable. But I look at a basement and I say, okay, if you're 3 years away from selling your house, you can basically put the work in, even if you were close to breaking even. I think the big thing to look at is to say, if you could buy a pair of shoes for $100 and then return them back to the store 3 years later for $75 or $80 after you've had all that use, that would be a really good thing. So the usage of some of this stuff can be a factor in your decision too. Now, if you're 6 months away from selling, probably not the best idea. Installing fireplaces, flooring upgrades is typically a very good thing. Paint is 50 to 100%. Generally, my experience is if it needs some paint, it can be far more than 100%. Window door replacement, very low. So that's one of those things that we talk about with some sellers, is that if you need a new roof or new windows, what's better, to do the work or to have some quotes there and say, okay, we understand that this is going to cost this much, and then you kind of work off of those numbers, maybe even split it with a buyer. That's good negotiation. And we've got some other stuff here: interlock, landscaping, You look at the pools, generally very, very low. Whirlpool tub, landscaping is usually no more than 50%. Oftentimes it's 25%. So if you want to check out that tool, definitely let me know. You can you can do it yourself. aicanada.ca resources tab, go to Renova, and you can plan some of your projects. But it is always good to touch base with someone who really sees what buyers are looking for and can give you a stronger read compared to filling in some numbers. So that's the report for this month. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back on track next month with another report. Okay, so let us know if we can help, and we'll see you later.